Here's how you're going to build an accent wall in less than 2 days. Let's get into it. We have a lot to go over, but let's begin with the before clip and after. Beautiful. This is a 2-day project. Anyone can do it with limited supplies, so let's jump into it. First, remove any decor, mirrors, light switches, or outlet covers. Also, you're going to want to mark where your studs are. This will make easy placement of your accent boards. So grab a stud finder and go along the wall and mark every single stud. Once I had my stud placement figured out, I took my level and traced it up and down where the studs would be, as this geometric design is going to be all over the wall and I want to make sure each accent board hits a stud. Good tip, when determining your geometrical layout, you're going to want to use a speed square. So use a speed square and a level to get you started, and then you can just use equal spacing thereafter. But if you use a speed square, you're basically only going to have 2 cuts, either a straight or a 45-degree miter cut. That makes the wall much simpler than trying to figure out a 42-degree cut or a 13.5-degree cut. Trust me on this, you're going to want to do that. Take your time with this step, get it all set up. I'm basically going to trace out 2 lines for reference on each side of the level. Although the level is 2.5 inches thick and these boards are only 2 inches thick, I just wanted a geographic location of where I was approximately going to put them. Once I did that, I went ahead and laid out a frame border. It's also 2 inches thick, one going vertical and one going horizontal. On this project, I'm not going to use any glue or construction adhesive behind the trim boards as they're not needed. I took my time to do the layout properly to ensure each board would hit a stud. Therefore, no glue is necessary or adhesive. And moving on to make things even more simple, I'm going to saw this entire project by hand, still using my speed square and my handy dandy saw. It came out really nice and it was easy, but I have to say, I was doing this to make the video DIY. My next video, I'll definitely pull my miter saw out and save my muscles. This is a good example of 2 cuts. One 45-degree miter on one side, one straight cut on the other. And you can see my stud layout lines as a reference mark to make sure I hit the studs. Easy peasy Japanesey. And I can say that because my wife is half Japanese. So I think I can pull it off, right? Easy peasy Japanesey. Let's cue the time lapse. Engage.
Oh, man.
This is my first accent wall project, and it was a blast. Now we're not done yet, but the beginning stages of this is complete. So dance it out, grab your son or whoever's near you, and go ahead and celebrate that you got the first part of this project complete. Now moving on, I'm gonna grab patch and paint. This stuff is wonderful for patching holes, cracks, any open seams you may have in your miters, and it sets up quickly. 30 minutes, I would say it's ready for sand. I was starting to get a little tired at this point, so instead of continuing this video as a DIY with a sanding sponge and a piece of sandpaper, I grabbed my power sander from my workshop. It made easy work of it, but please note it's not necessary. You can sand this with a sanding sponge or a piece of sandpaper. After that was done, I cleaned up all my dust and debris with the vacuum, and I moved on to the caulking. Now, if you're in a pinch and you want to do this project, say, in one day, you should probably grab some caulk that sets up in a half hour to an hour. I didn't have that on hand, so this caulk is going to require 24 hours. Once I was done, I pretty much just dipped my finger in a cup of wet water and ran it across. It came out really nice. It had smooth seams, and that's all one could ask for, right? I mean, come on. This is for me in my house. It's good enough. Okay, we're in Home Depot. We're prepping for day 2, and we're gonna pick a dark color for this accent wall. Jax, say what's up.
What's up?
All right, you heard it from the man. What's up? All right, we're gonna pick a paint color. Let's start day 2. Time to move on. Caulk is dry. We're on day 2. Let's go ahead and tape this off so we won't have any overlap of paint. Get all our seams nice and tight. And then I'm gonna lay out construction paper and plastic and just get everything cleaned up and ready for the paint process. I opted to use my paint sprayer for this project, as cutting in with a brush and rolling with all these boards and this geometric pattern, it could be pretty hectic, so I decided to spray. There was no thinning of the paint needed, and I love this color. This is what we picked out in Home Depot. If you're interested in this color, I'll also have this link down in my description box. I have to apologize in advance that I didn't have the footage from me spraying the very first coat. This is the second coat. I only sprayed 2 total, and that's all we did, and it looks great. But we had the phone, and my wife was helping me record some footage. She was holding it vertical, and as you know, YouTube is horizontal, so it was pretty much lost footage. It didn't make sense to put it in the video. I only waited about 30 minutes after this second coat of paint before I started removing the tape. I like to do that. I just feel like it leaves a cleaner, crisper line, and that's sort of my process. And just like that, this is how I took our 1980s home and brought it into 2021. A beautiful accent wall with a geometric pattern. It just came out so great. Now, I have to say, the only problem with this entire project is it completely pushed my wife into wanting a bunch of stuff done in the house now. So now I'm going to be moving on from this room to the next and to the next, and it kind of never ends. But guys, what do you think? This came out beautiful. It's time for us to change out the rug and the dining table and the chandelier, but we're excited. I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on this accent wall. It's an easy build. It can add tremendous value to your house. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And while you're at it, watch some of these other videos around here. All right, get after it.